challenging the audience to achieve a higher level of belief or achievements. Again, they're printed here on page 2 of your agenda. Appeal to the audience's needs and emotions using stories, anecdotes, and quotes to add drama, and avoid using notes. Now we have an evaluator will be Seamus Whelan from Clondalkin Club. The title of the speech is "The Journey is as important as the destination," and it's a 5 to 7 minute speech stroke presentation. Can I ask you, Robert, just to explain the times for the speech, please?
Sure. Like you said, it's 8 to 10 minutes for each speech. So on 8 minutes, I'll give you the green light. On 9 minutes, I'll give you the orange light. And on 10 minutes, I'll give you the red light. With 10 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll give you the light.
Okay, so the speech titled "The Journey is as important as the destination." You welcome Matthew McGowan.
Mr. Toastmaster, inspiration. What is it? Where do we find it? Inspiration is important because it helps to question what we're presently doing. It helps guide us to do things we really want to do. And it helps give us the courage to go out and do those things. A friend of mine was recently talking about social conditioning. Social conditioning is whereby we do things not because we really want to do, but because it's what society expects us to do. So for instance, we go to college, we get a 9-to-5 job, we get married, we have kids. Now there's nothing wrong with any of these things. For most people, this is exactly the right thing to do. But often, a lot of people don't consciously choose to do these things. And this can lead to a sense of discontentment in our lives. Today, I want to talk about 3 people who not only do I find inspiring, but who have followed their own path. Chris Castro. I met Chris a few months ago when I was traveling in Argentina. 12 years ago, Chris was a successful lawyer in Buenos Aires. He had come top of his class in law school. He had a beautiful girlfriend. He was working his way up the corporate ladder. In 2002, the economic crisis hit Argentina. Chris lost a lot of money, but it forced him to really examine his life. One morning, Chris woke up and he decided he'd had enough. He packed his bags, he quit his job, he left his parents, he left his girlfriend, and he travels down to southern Argentina, down to Patagonia. Today, Chris runs a kayaking company. He works very long hours. He earns a lot less than he would do if he was working as a lawyer in Buenos Aires. But he loves his life. As he said to me when we were kayaking, we were sitting in a pristine blue lake. We were surrounded by snow-capped mountains, by thick, verdant, green forests. We were kayaking, and he turned to me, looked me in the eye, and he said, "Matthew, look around you. This is my office." The second person I want to talk about today is Julia Roberts. It's not actually Julia Roberts, but it's Julia Roberts from the film Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love, it's an adaptation of a novel that was written by Elizabeth Gilbert. she talks about her own life, her own experience. In the film, Julia Roberts is a successful writer. She has an adorable husband, and she's surrounded by a great group of supportive friends. To anyone looking from the outside, she has a perfect, enviable life. But she's not happy. She sits in her bath at night and dreams of going to Italy. Then, one night, she decides she's had enough. She quits her job, and she leaves her husband. She divorces him. Her husband doesn't want a divorce. Her friends tell her she's crazy. But she leaves, and she goes to Italy. In Italy, she spends 4 months doing what the Italians call dolce far niente, which is basically the art of doing nothing. But by doing this, she learns that happiness is not something that you can buy. It's not something that you can achieve. It's something that you experience. And you experience it in the present. In the second part of the movie, she goes to India, to an ashram. And in the ashram, she learns to meditate. She spends 3 months here. And by learning to meditate, she gets in touch with her spirituality. And she also learns to accept and let go of her past. In the final part of the movie, she goes to Bali in Indonesia. Because she has learned to love herself, and because she now knows who she is from her internal journey, she's now ready to give her love to others. Third person I wanted to talk about is Steve Jobs. I think everybody knows who Steve Jobs is, or everybody in this room. My dad didn't know who he was on Sunday when I was chatting about it, but I think most people will know who Steve Jobs is. Steve Jobs, he went to college, he dropped out after 6 months. Then he went on to form Apple Computers. He was subsequently fired from Apple Computers. And years later, he was rehired to reinvigorate the company and make it one of the most successful companies in world history. In 2005, he gave an address to Stanford University to the graduating students there. And I just want to read a quote from him. "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life." Now, I'm not saying that you should leave your girlfriend or that you should leave your husband. I'm not saying that you should go to an ashram in India and learn to meditate. And I'm not saying that you should set up an innovative multinational company. But what I am saying is to listen to that inner voice, to listen to your instinct. I am saying not to be afraid to follow your dreams. And I am saying not to be afraid to follow your own path, even if that path is the polar opposite to what everyone else is doing. It's scary. You may fail. You probably will fail. Others will doubt you. You'll doubt yourself. But you never know where the path will go. You never know what experiences you have. You never know what insights you get. And you'll never know where you end up. Toastmaster.